Monday, June 24th, last week of June. We're moving right through the summer. Welcome back to the Damon Brew Show, brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. It is awesome to have you here. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for being patient with me last week while Jillian and I took the kids up to Tahoe. Nice little getaway. It was perfect. It was right amount of time. Worked really, really well. And I'm good at putting my phone down when I'm on vacation. There's only one thing that really concerned me when I picked my phone up and looked at it while I was on break, and we will get into that right here and right now. Any and all 49ers news. Larry and I just had a great wake up. You can find that video. We'll get to the other stuff, but I want to start with what the thumbnail suggests we start with today, and that's Klay Thompson. Because Anthony Slater coming out with the story that Klay Thompson might be at the end of his Warriors run, not just because of what the Warriors want to do, but because of the way Klay Thompson now feels about the situation. Like, to me, that's significant. I think Anthony Slater, if we really had to measure, like, modern pound for pound, most dialed in beat writer, Slater might be number one among all. He really might be. And what I've always really liked about Anthony Slater is he doesn't joke around. And he's not a clickbait dramatist either. Like, if Anthony Slater is telling you there's a little drama here, then I really believe him. And Klay Thompson feels a bit like he is jilted by the entire fact the Golden State Warriors haven't run to bring him back. What do we know about Klay Thompson? We know that he will forever be one of the single most beloved and greatest Golden State Warriors of all time. But I also believe that there's something else in play here, and this is what the Warriors are thinking about as well. There's no such thing as staying the same. But even if there were, is that enough to keep Klay Thompson around? You're only getting better or getting worse. There is no scenario where Klay Thompson could do anything other than stay the same, which really isn't available. So this is the end of the road. And I also believe that for the sake of just not running it back again, because just running this back as is, it can't happen. It can't happen. And I think that Steve Kerr is so loyal to a fault, that if Klay Thompson remains on this team, Steve will prevent this team from evolving in a way that it needs to, because he's got a Klay Thompson dependency. What's methadone? How do we get Steve off the Klay Thompson heroin? Well, Pajemski enough methadone? Is Moses Moody enough methadone to break Steve Kerr of his Klay Thompson addiction? By the way, an addiction he's done really well with. I think he needs to be off the team. I mean, it hurts me to say it. So this is like saying we got to get Santa Claus out of Christmas. But I really do believe that it is time to say goodbye. And in the ultimate, directive from Bill Walsh, saying goodbye a year too early is better than goodbye a year too late. The years to say goodbye to Klay Thompson have probably already happened. Although, look, they did win that title against Boston. They did. And that, I think, is the last bit of juice they're going to get from the squeeze of this roster as it is. I'm not even ready to start talking about a possible trade for Paul George or anything like that. But I do think the business of Klay Thompson is going to put him in another uniform. And looking at Klay Thompson in an Orlando Magic uniform is going to be hard on these eyes. It's going to be tough on all of our eyes. But I think it might be the best outcome for all involved. I really do. So that's where I wanted to begin today's show. Are we at the end of this Warriors run with Klay Thompson? I would not be surprised if we are. I see so many of you, so many familiar names right here in the chat. Rockin', Otis, Red Jet. I see that Chef A going to the doctors today. Hopefully everything's okay there. Albert, great to see you. All of you, you mean so much to me. Missed you. Michael, missed you when we were away. I mean, this is East Bay Ricardo. Good morning. Look, it's great to have you back here. It really was. And I do. You got a good job. If this even is a job. You got a good job when being on vacation isn't automatically the best day ever because you're not working. Like, I love sitting down here and talking with you. And I love the fact that you keep on coming back thank you very much. Hit like and subscribe. And let me tell you, if you're thinking about lunch plans, I got lunch plans for you. And the lunch plans, it's real simple. Starts with 3 little letters, IKE. Go to Ike's, get yourself a delicious sandwich. Do it today. Download that rewards app and start earning your way towards your free sandwiches as you order them, either over the app to pick up or have them delivered if you're in a delivery area. And a lot of you probably are. And if you're not, call a congressman or a senator and make sure Ike's is coming to you soon. That's how important this sandwich shop is. One of the best businesses growing in America today is Ike's, and I am so proud that they are my signature sponsor, that I'm friends with this guy, and what a guy. What a sandwich. Forget, even if he were inherently evil, the sandwiches are so good, we could probably overlook that. And he is the opposite of inherently evil. Let me tell you, when you got to go and inherently have a great drink, get yourself to the Dubliner in West Portal. Tell John and Kenny, both of them, that I said hello. Look for either of them. I used to be on Team Kenny. I heard that Team John was getting upset about that. So now we want a double greeting. If you see them both back there, tell them you said the Damon Bruce Show sent me to the Dubliner on West Portal. Cheers to everyone. Sip of the day has already come and gone. You all know the rules by now. Indeed, you do. A little bit more about the, again, basketball season is over. Yet at the same time, we got an NBA draft on Wednesday. So the business of next year is about to begin. July is always an important month for moving guys around and numbers kicking in and having extensions maybe given to negotiate and yada, yada, yada. An awful lot about what the Warriors look like next year will be determined probably in the next 6 weeks in terms of how this roster is constructed. Whoever is playing for the Golden State Warriors next season doesn't look like they're going to be coached by Kenny Atkinson, because Kenny Atkinson, according to all precincts, is about to be named the next head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Kenny Atkinson stepping into a pretty damn good situation when you think about it. Kerr's top assistant is now taking over a Cavaliers roster that went to the Eastern Conference semifinals and over the last 2 regular seasons has won nearly 100 games, 99 wins for the Cavaliers over their past 2 regular seasons. Or is that just all seasons? No, it's regular seasons, I think. And look, he's got history already with a couple of guys on this roster. He's got history with Jared Allen. He's got history with Karis LeVert from his time in Brooklyn. So, Donovan Mitchell sounds like he's about to resign with Cleveland. So Kenny Atkinson, bonsoir. Good luck with everything if that is indeed about to happen. By the way, again, the NBA draft is on Wednesday. One of the other things that I saw when I was on a little bit of a break is that the Pistons, they fired Monty Williams with more than $65 million left on his contract. I'm going to tell you right now, the greatest job in the world is a fired coach. That's the best job in the world. Do you realize that Monty Williams has every penny of that $65 million coming to him on his contract until he takes another job? Why would he take another job? Well, just sit back and enjoy the Brinks truck that backs up to your vault every 2 weeks. What are you doing for that? Nothing. Just kicking it. Just hanging out. It's pretty good to be Monty Williams, right? By the way, what is really interesting is that only 4 players in the history of the Detroit Pistons have made more money than Monty Williams is about to make from them. Blake Griffin made $138 million in Detroit. Don't want to talk about getting nothing out of that. Andre Drummond, $98 million. Richard Hamilton, $94 million. Reggie Jackson made $81 million and fired after 1 year. Monty Williams, $65 million, the 5th highest paid Detroit Piston of all time, coached them 1 year. And you wonder why you're the Detroit Pistons. Seriously. Do we dare talk a little bit of baseball? Do we dare? Before we move on to the NFL, which we all know is king of everything. But I got to be honest with you. I just did a wake up with Larry, and all the NFL headlines right now are basically made up. There's not a lot going on with the 49ers. Brandon Ayuk, nothing's changed there. There's your update. That's all you need to know. All you need to know. Every single, if you Google like 49ers news, like there'll be like 10 stories that pop up. You can tell just by the headlines on these stories. These are not really stories. This is just content. This is just throwing shit against the wall to see who clicks on it. There is no new news. So I guess that's your 49er update right now. When it comes to the San Francisco Giants, the only news is bad news. They've yet to win a game since Willie Mays passed away. They've lost 5 in a row. And it's not about to get easier here at the end of June because the Cubs are coming to town for 4, and then it's the Dodgers for 3. Not that the Cubs are great, but the Cubs just handled their business at Wrigley against the Giants. And the Giants right now are just like the bloom is off the rose. I'm sorry. You can talk about being excited about a young crop of players coming through. Well, okay, sure. What are you getting out of them? You know, you are what your record says you are. Well, right now the Giants are the 3rd worst team in the National League. Only the Rockies and the Marlins have worse records than the San Francisco Giants in the National League. That's it. So I really don't want to hear about any wild card nonsense. I think it is officially time, boys and girls, to look at this trade deadline and start giving away the remainder of this season in the name of a better future, because this franchise has had one winning season since 2016. And that was the biggest fluke there probably ever was in baseball, right? Gabe Kapler, 107 wins, and neither is even in the room anymore. The team that won 107 games, no, they're not doing that with this group. Gabe Kapler, gone. You know, Bob Melvin hasn't been great. He's not bad. The team is bad. The general manager has not fulfilled his duties as general manager. I don't even know if I really want Farhan presiding over a sell-off. I don't know. Something needs to change dramatically with the San Francisco Giants, and I can't help but think that all the young stories that are on this roster that you might be excited about right now are only here against Farhan's wishes. Against Farhan's wishes. So, it's probably time to walk away. Giants hosting Cubs this Monday evening. Be in your seats if you are going at 6:30, because this is going to be the first game since Willie Mays' passing at 24 Willie Mays Plaza. The Giants have a ceremony for Willie. The fact that Rennell Brooks-Moon isn't presiding over this ceremony is just another reason to look at the Giants and ask yourself, who the fuck is running this team and what are you doing? 7-game homestand. The swoon in June is real. The Giants are 7-13 in the month of June with 7 losable games coming up here on this homestand. 4 with the Cubs, 3 with the Dodgers. A's at the Angels, but let's be honest, that's a series only my pal Carl Buszczyk or the guys at Last Dive Bar could love. That is A's and Angels. I'd rather tear my eyes out. I really would. Again, last week of June, the NBA is finished. The NHL finishes tonight. We get a Game 7. We finally get a Game 7 of real consequence late in the playoff series. Doesn't get any later than the finals. But here we go. Game 7 tonight. Edmonton, Florida, and either way, we're going to have something to talk about. Florida wins at home. They have staved off one of the all-time choke jobs ever, and they will hoist Lord Stanley's Cup in front of their own fans for the first time in franchise history, which is absolutely a scene that I wouldn't mind watching play out with my own 2 eyes. There's nothing better than the Stanley Cup presentation in terms of trophy ceremony, and looking at a home rink get to celebrate the team it roots for with the Stanley Cup. That's always very special. I'm also on Team Edmonton. I've been rooting for the Edmonton Oilers this entire way, and since the final started, and I felt stupid starting 0 for 3. I was the mush. I was the jinx. Now they have a chance to do almost the unthinkable, be down 0-3 and come back and win a Stanley Cup, and they got to do it on the road. Connor McDavid has been worth the price of admission, just like those chicks' boobs. Those are worth the price of admission too. I don't know if we're going to be able to see her, but if Edmonton wins, good. If Florida wins, good. Either way, we will see Lord Stanley this evening. Will it be in an ice rink full of very upset fans or wildly ecstatic fans? I'm ready to go. We are, 10 Sundays away from football. Really can't get here fast enough. I guess the only real 49ers news to share with you is that Ricky Pearsall has signed his 4-year deal. There was never any doubt that he wouldn't do that. Everybody's happy with Brock Purdy. Of course they are. George Kittle saying nice things about Brock Purdy. George Kittle says nice things about everybody and everyone on his team. It's who he is. But he is talking about the command that he has over the room, over the playbook, over everything now. And that's what happens when, a quarterback is going into year number 3, knowing that he's the guy. So good news all around, I think, on the 49ers. Just get the freaking deal done that makes Brandon Ayuk happy and in the room. And come on, get it done. Get that done. 49ers on Netflix. If you can't wait until the season starts, you're going to have a little something to watch about 49er football. Both George Kittle, who, by the way, is a tight end in case you don't know, and Deebo Samuel will be featured in the documentary coming out called Receiver. They did the series Quarterback, where they didn't feature anyone else but quarterbacks. In Receiver, they will be featuring George Kittle. And it's a new Netflix series after their very successful Mahomes' cousin Marcus Mariota quarterback series that was out last year. I watched a couple episodes of that, didn't stick around for the whole thing. But there you go. Am I not the guy who promised you I would never waste your time? I mean, I wish I had more. I thought, gosh, I'm going to be coming back from a few days vacation. Maybe there will be a big pile of stuff for me to get to. Nope, it's the middle of summer. That's the way things go. There's just not a lot going on right now. I got to tell you, I was watching some U.S. Olympic trials. Bring on the Olympics next month. Absolutely. I love the Olympics. I'm looking forward to the Olympics. I really am. Watch a little time trials. Didn't spend enough. I didn't spend more time watching Olympic time trials, though, or the guys trying to make and gals trying to make the U.S. Olympic team, than I probably, again, when I picked up my phone, I'm like, what is this? What is Huck Tuah? We'll get to her in just a second. But that was something to see. The greatest analysis about Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals was offered up by Stephen A. Smith, who I guess is going to be in the building tonight. And if ESPN puts out a video of Stephen A. walking into a hockey rink like he's about to play, like they put out videos of him walking into NBA arenas, that's going to be pushing it. If you're going to ask me where it jumped the shark, that would be it right there. I do love the fact that on First Take this morning, I saw this put out on Twitter that Stephen A. Smith was talking to Shannon Sharp, talking about, Shannon, it's a Game 7. We got to talk about this. The only thing I know about hockey is that the puck is black. Great line. Great line by Stephen A. But we got a Game 7 tonight, and I will be watching that. We got Giants-Cubs on the flip back. By the way, I'm going to a Cubs game Thursday afternoon. I'm looking forward to that one. It'll be my first time in the park. First time in the park. Since Willie passed away. All right. We are going to get into a Club Plues here today. We are going to turn on the squeakiest disco ball in America and go through your comments. It'll be great to catch up with all of you after a couple of days away on vacation. Let's wrap up the show with this. Huck Tuah, spit on that thing. Dude. As I tweeted, when I finally saw this thing, and I got to it a good 48 hours after it had been up on the internet because I was very good about putting my phone away in Tahoe. I'm looking at this and I'm just like, oh my God. First of all, this is hysterical. This is hysterical. I don't know anything about this woman. other than she's from Tennessee and when she has a few drinks, will give a hell of an interview. That was funny as hell. I've seen the AI country version of the Hawk Tuah spit on that fangirl. Look, this is why the internet is a gift. There are days when we can see the internet is clearly evil and working against all of us at all times. And there are other days the interwebs pays off. This Hawk Tuah thing is about as charming as a sexually charged street interview could ever become. It's hysterical. It's hysterical. This woman has made me laugh harder than every moment of Jimmy Fallon's career. Like, let's get the Hawk Tuah girl her own late night talk show. It probably won't last very long. It seems like she's good at that. It probably won't last very long because it could be a one-trick pony. But the internet. That's all I can say. Cheers, internet. Without the internet, we would have not met the Hawk Tuah girl. The presidential campaign, Hawk and Tuah 24 vote. Very funny. I see that going on. The best mock-up T-shirt celebrating our discovery of the new Miss America is, if she doesn't Hawk Tuah, don't talk to her. If she doesn't Hawk Tuah, don't talk to her. That's a great T-shirt. This is going to be one of those moment in times where 10 years from now, someone's going to be like, remember the Hawk Tuah girl? And you'll be like, oh, yeah. The same way you're like, remember planking or remember the Harlem Shake? Like, oh, yeah, I do. I remember that. I think the Hawk Tuah girl officially has a spot in all of our memory banks forever now. And let me just say, they weren't making girls like this when I was in college. She seems about college age. Like, I'm not saying that, girls weren't given blowjobs in 97 and getting funky with them. They were. I got a few of them. I know that this happened. What didn't happen in 1997 was any girl volunteering just in a street interview that level of detail. Porn stars were the only women in society talking like this. Now it's a random street interview. I don't know if this is good or bad for America. Sounds like it might be good for blowjobs, but we got a whole bunch of generation of dudes who don't even know how to get those anymore because they don't even know how to talk to girls, much less have a girl Hawk Tuah. So good luck with that, generation Pokemon. Or maybe it's easier than ever before, and this is commonplace now. I don't know. I watched that, and my first thought was, thank God I have two boys. Thank God. Thank God. Final thing for you. And this is important. Today, June 24th in 1987, was one of the most important days in the history of cinema. 37 years ago today, Spaceballs came out. 37 years ago, we got to know the Schwartz, and may the Schwartz be with you. And Mel Brooks is at his very Mel Brooks-ish and at his best and at his cringeworthy Mel Brooks humor moment at times in this movie too. Spaceballs, it's been out for 37 years. I've seen it at least 80 times. Spaceballs, like The Godfather, like Spartacus, like Shawshank Redemption, is one of those movies where if I catch it at any point in time in the movie, I'm probably sticking with it for the rest of the movie. Frickin', I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. God bless Mel Brooks. That brings me back to the Gene Wilder documentary that I mentioned last week. If you haven't seen this on Netflix, Mel Brooks is all over the Gene Wilder documentary called Remembering Gene Wilder. So there you go. Mel Brooks is going to be one of those guys when he passes away, the mourning will be real. So let's celebrate Mel while he's still with us. He is all over the Gene Wilder documentary. He's still with us, right? I don't want to, nothing happened. Wait, yeah. Yes, he's 97 years old. Mel, thank you. Thank you for Spaceballs. Thank you for Blazing Saddles. Thank you for Young Frankenstein. Frankenstein. And there you go. It is great to be back. Thank you so much for continuing to click and watch videos while I was away for 4 days, not posting anything live. The channel was still hopping. I can't wait till football season gets here and watch the way that this channel hops, but it's growing thanks to you. Thanks for your likes, for your subscriptions. Thank you so much for you members. By the way, I promised you a Bane interview from Tahoe. Didn't happen. I forgot the damn Bane mask, so it couldn't happen. But, by the way, I'm not Sports Bane, so I don't even know what I'm talking about there. But just, that's why it didn't happen. But to all of you members and your beautiful, bright, golden stars, thank you very much for being a loyal member. It means an awful lot that you continue to support what I'm doing over here. And we're going to just keep on kicking ass. That's the way it goes. That little breakup in Tahoe is exactly what I needed, man. I feel invigorated. I feel good. Nothing like a little hanging out in a jacuzzi on a porch in Tahoe. Like these are good times. Boys had a great time. Wife had a great time. It was a really, really good getaway. So thanks to all of you. You're awesome. Let me invite everyone on YouTube to not go anywhere. We're going to get into Club Plues here in just a second. But if you're listening on the podcast, I promised you I'd never waste your time, and I never, ever will. So let me just tell you that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Squeaky disco ball. Yes. Sexy time. All right. All righty. What do we got? I'm going right back up to the top. What do we have here? First thing, just so we all know, Snips1 says going 0-10 in an elimination game isn't the farewell that we had in mind. What are you talking about? I don't even did I miss something? Who's 0-10 in eliminate? Oh, that's right. That was Klay Thompson. 0-10 in an elimination game. That was, again, that hurts, right? That hurts. Again, wrong way to approach it, Tiger Tank 06. Klay Thompson leaving the Warriors. Thank God he's not what he used to be. Dude, this is not a thank God situation. It's just a harsh reality situation. And the reality is that Klay's entire career was undone by devastating injuries, which returned a player who was never the same. It's too bad, man. It really is. Otis Bird trying to stay positive about the Giants, saying the Giants are in a rough patch. Too many injuries. The guys will be ready in the second half. Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're an inferior baseball team that caught a little bit of a heater when they had an injection of new blood in that clubhouse, but the league adjusts and they don't. The Giants are here's the thing. They're going to be just good enough to not be good enough. They will beat rank and file major league teams against the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Phillies. We've seen all we need to know. They ain't even in the neighborhood with those teams. So what does ready in the second half even mean? I'm available to be the next head coach. Just saying. Sporticus. I just saw Chef A right in front of that saying, how do I get a job as a fired NFL head coach? It's a NBA head coach. It's great work. How about JJ Redick? Anybody think he's going to be okay or good even? I don't know. I bet you he's fired in 4 years. I don't know. Or maybe JJ Redick really is this incredible freaking genius basketball guy. I'll tell you this, JJ Redick was an asshole to my former producer, Lucas, and I've never forgiven JJ Redick ever since. JJ Redick is a permanent spot on my shit list because of the way he talked to a producer who called him. That's it. All Lucas did was call JJ Redick on his cell phone to see if he could come on my show, and JJ Redick motherfucked Lucas so had, how dare you call me directly? It's like, dude, this is the number we had. We're a major market radio station. I'm not somebody trying to track you down for a podcast you never heard of, you know? So I got JJ Redick on the he's from Duke, he must be a dick at heart list, and he's proven as such. Again, how does JJ Redick treat LeBron James? Premier smoocher, ass kisser. How does JJ Redick treat Lucas? It was terrible. So in my mind, that's who JJ Redick is. And Lucas, if you're watching this, I hope you're doing well. As soon as the hire was made, I texted Lucas. I'm like, don't you ever try and go calling the Lakers head coach directly. How dare you? He's like, yeah. Okay. What else? What else we got going here on a very busy chat room? Mark Graves is just saying, exactly, Damon. Farhan will get the short end of any deal. I don't think I want Farhan in charge of anything anymore. Even in areas that he's good. He's not good enough in those areas for me to want him around much longer. The Giants are screaming to get some new eyes put on him. Sporticus says Bob Melvin has made himself a nice career being a managerial replacement placeholder. I mean, I think he's a little bit better than that. And I just look at the hand that he's been dealt here. It's not very good, but man, he had a pretty good hand down in San Diego. That didn't work out. We all know that the weird hand that he had in Oakland is hard to evaluate anything going on. I like Bob Melvin. I don't dislike Bob Melvin. I don't think the Giants season is going to get me to dislike Bob Melvin. I think he's a guy that is given a good team, could do an awful lot with it. But given a really bad team, and I don't think the Giants even are a really bad team. But again, it doesn't matter what I think. They got the third worst record in the National League. So I guess that makes them a really bad team. Go Canada. G. Martinez. Absolutely. Go Edmonton. I do know this. A Stanley Cup will mean more to Edmonton than a Stanley Cup will mean to the state of Florida. I know that for sure. Oh my God, look at Red Jet. Dare I say go Panthers? Not going to lie, though, I wouldn't mind seeing Edmonton get it. Look, the most amount of fun the trophy presentation gets is if Florida wins it. The place is going to be going bonkers. But I know that this means more in Canada than it means in Florida. I can't even tell you where the Florida Panthers play. Are they in Miami? Around Miami? Sunrise, Florida, is that where they are? I don't care. Beat them, Panthers. Red Jet. Hey, Sharks. Your turn for real this time. Seriously, Sharks, you got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. Mark Graves, let's do it for the puppies. The Oilers girl. I saw her, a video that she put out, where she basically says, I got drunk, I showed my tits. If anyone was offended, go fuck yourself. Perfect statement. No notes. Perfect. Perfect. I hear an awful lot of you were offended. I don't care. Excellent. If only the rest of the world could be more like Edmonton Perfect Tits. I think that's her name, too. Or she should change it. Those are great. Those are teardrops. Those are nice. Her cup floweth. Cup floweth. Michael Chang, she's posing for Playboy? Good for her. Good for her. Get some cash out of it. She got a Playboy deal. Good for her. I'm telling you. It's I'm a pretty big fan of the knockers. She had outstanding knockers. I would agree with you here. I don't think the Florida Deer can escape the headlights tonight. The snowball of the momentum is tough to turn. Let me just tell you this right now. If Edmonton scores first, the amount of tight that will be in that building is enough to probably deliver the Stanley Cup to Edmonton. If Edmonton scores first, Florida's in trouble. E. Scott Burns saying that the Cup guy's been dragging this thing around for a long time. Game 4 in Edmonton, back to Florida for Game 5, Edmonton for Game 6, finally to Florida. What else is he doing? Nothing. Because he loves this time of year. It's the only time of year we see him. So I'm sure he'd like as many Cup is in the building moments as he can get offered. So hopefully he gets frequent flyer miles, right? Do you get frequent flyer miles? Yeah, I would agree with this too. UC Steve, who knew Playboy was even around? Do 60-year-old guys buy Playboy without knowing that the internet? Like, didn't Playboy said that they're not doing nudity anymore? Or full nudity or something like that? Like, I don't know. Who goes to a magazine for their pornography? I don't know. I don't know these people. G. Martinez. She's a keeper. Hawk Tuah. The way that she said, I know that everyone's Hawk Tuahing forever on this girl. The way that she turns around and goes, spit on that thing, to me, that's a cherry on top of the sundae right there. Like, she was funny. I bet you this girl is funny. Spit on that thing. Oh, my God. Yeah, Michael, thank you. Hawk Tuah on the like button. Hit it hard. Hit it hard. Stephen A. wants $25 million. Otis Bird, Dan Lebitard is right. He could probably go out and get that on his own. Well, what they just offered him anyways. Stephen A. Smith, no matter what he does, whether you like him or not, when he does something, the whole world goes, what did he do? What did he say? And that's worth something. Big Mac, oh man. How's everyone doing today? It's going well, Big Mac. Hopefully Green Bay's treating you well. You had to move there. Don't become a Packers fan. Don't get a cheese hat head, whatever. Oh, man. Hawk Tuah here now, too. She's everywhere. You can't stop Hawk Tuah, girl. Maybe Playboy reaches out to her. Good. That's true. Maybe. Scotty Scheffler on fire. Thank you, Chef A. So didn't they just have like a little protest? We got the postman in Capitola. Postman. Oy, oy, oy. I know you don't talk a lot of golf, but Scotty Scheffler is on fire this year. 6 wins before July 1st. Hasn't been done since Arnold Palmer in 62. Didn't they just have a protest on the final green he was on or something like that? Was he part of that? I know that there were some environmental protesters who ran out and tried to take over a green at the Travelers. And again, I was on vacation. Good. But yeah, Scotty Scheffler, fire. And no, I don't talk a lot of golf. Red Jet. The internet will never be defeated. It's a pretty big deal. Michael, I love you, Pookie. I don't know who Pookie is, but he knocked the cobwebs off that thing. Yeah, hide your daughters. Christopher. I mean, I looked at that and I said, thank God I got 2 boys. Thank God. Scheffler, tigerish right now. Enjoy the greatness while you got it. I'll give you that. Smiley, I was at a casino on Saturday night and people would yell Hawk Tuah as they rolled the dice playing craps. Oh, that's great. Oh, man. Rob C. Note. Damon, remember the heckler you interviewed? His 10 minutes are up. Yes, I do remember that heckler from a Giants game many, many years ago. I had him on. He was really funny. And that was his moment in time. Came and went. Kind of like the kid with the red afro that was picked up by Barstool Sports as like a Giants correspondent. Remember that kid, the red rhino? He came and went quickly. Apparently, if you meet the Tuah girl, you also will too came and went early, come and went. You know the joke that I'm trying to tell. Imagine that. For the rest of your life, you're known as the Tuah girl. Hey, better to be known for something than remembered for nothing at all, I guess. Rob, good to see you. Thank you very much. Rob C. Note, ladies and gentlemen. He also goes on to say, I was at Tony's Pizza last night. The bartender was wearing a Dubliner t-shirt. Yeah! So Kenny also owns, what's the other great place in North Beach that I can't remember the name of it right now. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the name of the other bar that I love in North Beach. But it's right by Cobb's, right? If you're at the corner of Cobb's and you walk down to the other corner of that bar right there, Rocco's. Is that it? Rocco's? So yeah. You got a lot of love for the Dubliner bar scene, even in North Beach. God, I'm old. How about Red Jet? She hears about Tuah girl. She hears that it's the anniversary of Spaceballs. And this is the best line of the entire chat today. I bet she gives great helmet. That should almost be the walk-off line right there. That should almost be where thanks, everybody. I bet she gives great helmet. Red Jet. Bravo. Oh, that's great. Yogurt. I hate yogurt. We ain't found shit. I think about that all the time. Like that line runs on a replay when one of my boys is like, Dad, can you help me find this whatever toy I'm looking for, which has been under the couch for 3 weeks, but right now I'm going to pretend it's the center of my universe. I mean, I don't say it back to my boys, but I'll go looking for something and be like, we ain't found shit. I got to tell you, I love Spaceballs, but the greatest Mel Brooks movie ever made, Blazing Saddles. That's the greatest Mel Brooks movie ever made. Did you hear that they're working on like a remake of Spaceballs or Spaceballs 2? Josh Gad, I guess, is attached to this. I saw that online like last week. Smiley did go out and see that the Gene Wilder doc, great one. Thank you for the recommendation. Again, if you love Mel Brooks, you will love the Gene Wilder documentary. Because you really can't get one without the other, right? Mel Brooks. You don't get Mel Brooks at his peak without Gene Wilder. You don't get Gene Wilder at his peak without Mel Brooks. The two of them were made for each other. The producers, no doubt. History of the World, Part 1. Red Jet Shell. What was it? The Ethiopian Shim Sham? Isn't that what Gregory Hines danced? Oh, man. Those are so good. Love for John Candy. We got love for John Candy. No doubt. Damon, glad you got a little Tahoe sun. I got to tell you, my wife did a great job preventing us all from getting sunburns. Jillian was present about any sunscreen application on me and the boys. We all came home without sunburns after 3 very sunny, no clouds in the sky days in Tahoe, where we could have all been cooked. Left to my own recognizance, I would have gotten cooked out there. Way to go, Jillian. As always, the MVP of this family. T from the 203 says, I'm at Game 7 tonight in Sunrise. I knew it was Sunrise. Thank you. T from the 203, have a great time, man. Have a great time tonight. I'm telling you, because I know you're going to be there, maybe I do want to root for the Florida Panthers a little bit, just because I got a relationship with you, and I don't know anybody else attached to the Edmonton Oilers except for the chick with the big knockers who's going to be in Playboy, so we'll see her again. The South Florida sports fans have the tightest buttholes right now. They should. They should. Smiley, trying to do some investigative journalism. Where in Tahoe were you guys? We kept trying to tell by the pics, but couldn't. We were right outside of, I think it was called Carnelian Bay. The place that we stayed, the Airbnb, was right across from Gar Woods, which is a restaurant bar. You can pull your boat right up to the dock. Gar Woods is where we went. My wife and her friend Alana, they went over for a whole bunch of, what are they called, like Wet Woodies, their famous cocktail. I didn't make it in there for one. We were watching, me and Robin, the dads, were watching the kids as the moms who needed the break went and 2 old friends got good and drunk together. I told them, I said, no hawk tuaing until you come home. But they had a really good time. We had a good time. Carnelian Bay, right across from Gar Woods. It was perfect. It was perfect for the kids. Great little Airbnb. It was awesome. Can't forget about young Frankenstein. Chef A. Never can't forget about that, ever. Rob, you can't convince me Farhan still isn't on the Dodgers payroll. It is. It's a little bit like he is like a mole for them. Wasted banana. Come on, Damon, have some respect for J.J. Redick. Again, you treat my guy like a dick. You're going to have to do something special before I assume you're not again, who you are when no one is looking and no one is watching is who you are. And when no one is looking at J.J. Redick, he was a dick. So that's what I think. Padraig in here from Ireland. How you lads doing? How you doing, USA? We're okay. We're all right. See, this is what I'm talking. J.J. Redick did that to Lucas. Lucas is a good dude. I agree, man. Like, here's the thing. Even if you didn't want the producer calling your cell phone, give him the number of your agent and say, this is the right way to book me. Please go about it that way. You don't have to be an asshole. And he was a massive asshole. Red Jet is on fire today. J.J. Redick be like $1 million space bucks. Right, and that's the thing. Typical Duke. Typical Duke. And by the way, Sunrise right outside of Fort Lauderdale. Okay. Fort Lauderdale, that's like about an hour and a half up from Miami, I think. Is that where it is? Oh, word on the street, the boobs girls here. Hey, oil them up. Oil them up. Oilers. Again, if boobs offend you, we can't be friends. Big Mac. Using a porn magazine is like using a time machine. Again, who masturbates to still photography in 2024? Who's more of an internet sensation? Hawk Tuah or the Edmonton Boobs Girl? Oh, dude, Hawk Tuah I think she's got like 55, 60 million views since that thing came out. Sorry, it's Hawk Tuah, without a doubt. No one ever has had an AI country song written better than Hawk Tuah's had it. Seriously, I've never been more impressed with artificial intelligence until I heard about the Hawk Tuah country song, which you can look up. Joe, Squeaky Disco Ball, undefeated. Squeaky Disco Ball is special. Again, we're watching today. They're watching us in Ireland. They're watching us in Japan, baby. Joe G, always great to see you. Cheers. The Hawk Tuah. The Hawk Tuah girl. I mean, come on. Yeah, Spaceballs too. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little worried myself. Little worried myself. But if you got Mel Brooks involved, maybe. Okay? Again, as long as Mel's involved. Thank God this isn't happening. Oh, True Blue, you know what? Here we go. You're right. House of Dragons finally got a bit interesting about 40 minutes in last night. Again, they started with that funeral for the kid, and I'm like, this is a little depressing. Give me something, but I will agree. I turned to Jillian at the end of the episode, True Blue, and I said, I am 73% in on this show now. I was giving the episode, or I was going to give House of Dragons about 3 episodes to either get me in or out. And I still, last season was so forgettable in so many ways. There's a few characters moving around whose names and faces and relationships I'm not quite placing. And I'm not so interested that I'm going to the internet or listening to some accompanying podcast to explain it to me. But I will give you this. About 40 minutes in last night, shit did get interesting. And I will... Yes. Episode 2 had to sell me on coming back for episode 3. I will be watching next Sunday night. I'm about 73% in with House of Dragon. Yep, the Ethiopian Shim Sham. Jillian for the win. Dude, that's all. Dude, Jillian, just W. W's. Habe the Babe. Gene Wilder doc was awesome. Yes, it was. As was the Stax documentary. I'm glad you saw it. Stax documentary, fantastic on HBO. Watch the Stax documentary. It's a 4-part series. It's great. I've been listening to Otis Redding for weeks now. I've had more Otis Redding in the last 3 weeks than in the first 49 years of my life. I wasted the first 49 years of my life. Put more Otis Redding in your life. Do it today. Kaiser, Robin Hood Men in Tights, epic, legendary cast. Robin had that English accent. That was good. Dave Chappelle, that's the thing. You can tell comedic genius, recognizing comedic genius. Mel Brooks looked at Dave Chappelle and he said, I need him in the movie. That was before Dave Chappelle was Dave Chappelle, by the way. So Mel Brooks, he saw it. Pretty much like... games, you know, pretty much like he did with Gene Wilder. Has Damon ever done a podcast on the best Game 7s ever? No, he hasn't. But that's a good idea. That would take a lot of research. Everything you always wanted to know about sex, but were afraid to ask, right? Is also a classic. It is Old Dirty Hungus. Again, Gene Wilder with the duck, or no, excuse me, the goat. Yeah, Gene Wilder beds a goat. I mean, to me, Game 7, of the World Series in 2014. That was very special. Mad Bum comes in. Amazing. As someone who grew up a Cubs fan, I'm going to put extra innings of Game 7 in Cleveland as the Cubs win their first World Series in a billion years. I'm going to put that right up there. Again, did not have the wet Woody at Gar Woods. I didn't go. I just I was watching kids. Jillian had like 6 of them. But yeah, man, I got to tell you, the Lake Tahoe's special. Lake Tahoe is special. Again, it all comes first full circle. Scott says, Hawk Tuah on the wet woodies at Gar Woods if they get you. SF Indigo just coming right out and saying, look, I'm more of a Reno type guy. You got the food, you got white trash, you got sports betting. Fantastic. Yeah, before I'm going to declare anything about J.J. Redick being the next great up-and-coming coach, let's see if he lasts like 3 years, right? Let's see if he lasts 3 years. Leslie would say, you'd have to admit Duke is a beautiful school. Yeah, beautiful campus. Full of some of the most sanctimonious, overprivileged kids you'll ever meet in your life. Like there really are, there's an impressive amount of assholes that Duke produces. If boobs makes you mad, you hate happiness, sunshine, and kittens. I would say, if boobs make you mad, you hate happiness, sunshine, and puppies. Huh? Michelle Haberman. My brother got Spaceballs banned from our house because he wouldn't stop quoting the lines. So I did the same thing, but with the Great White North, with Bob and Doug McKenzie. Like we used to go around talking like this, you hosers. You hosers. Like I drove my dad nuts with that. My dad literally, like, I remember him grabbing me by the shirt and he's like, if you don't drop this bad Canadian accent right now, I don't know if I can live with you much longer. Oh, just going to take a sip of the Perrier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Joji, is Hawk Tuah similar to Bukkake? You know what? I'm going to let you figure that out for yourself. And the answer is no. One could make the other a reality, but no, they're much different. I'm going to let you figure that out yourself, though. The Time Person of the Year, Hawk Tuah girl. Would you let the Hawk Tuah girl spit on the squeaky disco ball? I mean, if you do it right, the spit doesn't run down to the ball. No. Yes. The answer is yes, I would. Leslie says, I always watch House of Dragons by myself to catch all the dialogue. Then I rewatch it within the family. I'm digging it. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. SF Indigo. Damon, no Acolyte? No, I'm really about, like, to me, Star Wars doesn't really exist after Empire, to be totally honest with you. I did like the Obi-Wan spinoff a little. No. I did not like the Obi-Wan. I thought that was terrible. I like the Boba Fett spinoff a little, but I'm not really here. Mandalorian was good. Mandalorian was the first decent, I think, offering. But yeah, I'm not here. Not here for like all the Star Wars other stuff. Putting on the Ritz, a legendary scene. So this is the incredible thing. When you watch that Gene Wilder documentary, the only time Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder ever fought, really disagreed on something, was the putting on the Ritz scene. Mel Brooks didn't want it in the film. Gene Wilder demanded it, insisted on it. And that's why that scene, which is maybe the funniest scene in the whole movie, it's incredible. By the way, Kaiser, you know me. Game 7 podcast would be about 50% of the 2016 World Series. That's right. Giants got swept again. Fire Farhan, now trending in Japan. Joji, the Giants had themselves a table for two with Broomhilda. Rob C. Coming in with a C note. Not necessary at all times, but I tell you, the way the other super chats are rolling in, thank God we got Rob C around here, because the rest of you stingy motherfuckers, you don't give at the office very much. But if you're a member, that's fine. That's you giving at the office. If you're a member, but the rest of you looky-loos, where are these super chats, kids? Where are these super chat? No, look, thank you very much. Support with a like and a subscribe. Thank you very, very much. I don't have any Fort Lauderdale recommendations for you. I'm sorry. If anyone else, here you go. T from the 203. Help him out. Help out Rob C. T from the 203, Rob C. Give him all the information that he needs. Rob C. He makes it rain like the weather. Thank you very, very much. And thanks to all of you. Thanks to all the love. Oh, no, Scott. Today's Plues is brought to you by WD-40. WD-40, lube and mirror balls since 1929. Yeah. I mean, the Hawk Tuah girl, the WC-40 girl, Rob C. only has $100. No, that's it. I don't know if Rob even understands that there's another dollar amount out there. Look at it this way. We haven't met it yet, and we hope not to. Rob, thank you very, very much. Rob C., he saw me at line 51, walked up, gave me a $100 handshake, gave Damon Amendola a $100 handshake as well. He was like a booster at Alabama, just giving $100 handshakes back in the day. Rob C., my man, my main man. I think that's it, kids. I think that's it. T from the 203, you and Rob, can you exchange like some email addresses or something? Can we get my man Rob C all the Fort Lauderdale restaurant information that he needs? WD-40, Hawk Tuah in a can. Look at it this way. If she Hawk Tuahs into your can, you're in for a whole new ball game. And on that note, I think I need to let you know that you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here, and probably shouldn't.